Hello, everyone. This is Suzanne at The Gospel Truth. Welcome back. Yeah, it's been 9 days since I've been on. Ron and I have been having some difficulties. Our pain levels have been up and a lot of doctor's appointments. We caught a gastrointestinal virus this past week. And, of course, I had to still go out and do all my stuff and just exhausted every day just to do anything. Today is rainy and wet and cold here in Rochester, Michigan, and nasty weather, and of course all our chronic pain areas are all flared up. Ron's got an MRI procedure coming up next week, and he has to get in and get blood work done and an x-ray. This coming Monday I go in for another nerve block injection in my knee and a injection in my hip area. So we're still trying to determine what's going on with my bad hip. I am struggling at night to get to sleep. Sometimes I don't get to bed till 4 o'clock in the morning. Then I have to get up at 8:30 to take the dog out and do his business. Ron's been under the weather, unable to do it. And I really appreciate it all the much more when he can, because it's a little bit of a job in the morning. We're not early morning people. That's when our pain levels are usually the worst, but we are managing. My daughter came by the other night, and she decided to take us out to dinner, and we didn't want to say no because she was so generous and wanted to spend time with us. She did quit her job. She decided she needs to be at home now with her autistic son and get her house back in order, and that's where her heart truly is, to take care of her family and to be back in that type of environment. She said, "Mom, I want to be available to take you to doctor's appointments, to be available to the grandkids, to anybody that needs me." And that's where my true heart is. And God bless her for that. And she is taking me to my appointment on Monday to get my injections and stuff. So I'm kind of happy for that. All right. So that's all me getting caught up. We're going to get back in our book here. Like I say, I apologize again. Boy, when you get older, it's tough some days. Some days are rough. It's all you can do to try to find things to do to keep your mind off the pain, and then you're so tired. And but with God's help, we'll all get through these type of days. I'm positive of that. Okay, when we last left off, Purity is in the back of the wagon. And Master Potter told Purity, caressing her cheek, "You were not made for this world." I want to talk about the power of touch for a moment. In the morning, sometimes my husband will reach over and he'll rub my face and do all here on my forehead. And, oh, it feels so good just having that human touch. A hug, a caress, a pat on the back, a squeeze on the shoulder. That can do wonders for a person. Just to know that somebody sees you. I did a video a while back called Intimacy. And intimacy. And how sometimes we just look past people. We don't see them. I took my dog, Sam, yesterday with me. I had to do a bunch of stuff yesterday. It was very tiring. And we had to go in the pet store. We came back out, and this lady was in there with her dog, a Rottweiler. He was a young one. And we got talking. She has 5 children. She has several things wrong with her. She's too young for a knee replacement. She has something wrong with her thyroid. Just a bunch of health issues. She says, "I eat once a day a bologna sandwich so I can feed the rest of my kids." And I thought, wow, that's pretty awful. And the first thing that popped in my mind was, shame on me. Like, why do you have a dog and the expense of feeding a dog and all the vet bills and stuff? But then I thought, that's when it's not time to judge people. That's when it's time to listen to their story. That dog brings them a lot of comfort. And it's a good emotional dog for them. And she lives in a condo. And I told her about a couple places where to get food. There's this church down by my daughter's, and every first Saturday of the month, they give out food. And I said, there's 6 in your family, maybe 7 with her husband. And I said, you could get a lot of food each month just from there. And I said, it'd be worth your while to do that. And she really thanked me. And we must have talked like 45 minutes in the parking lot. And I'm standing there. I'm tired. It's kind of cold outside. My groceries are in there. I'm ready to pack it up. I made 3 trips to the pharmacy for Ron. And, but then on the way home, I was thinking, she probably needed to tell her story and know that somebody out there cared. And by connecting, I was able to give her a couple of resources, which made me feel good. So it was a win-win for everybody. So sometimes people just want to chit-chat. Don't be in a hurry to rush off, or unless it's an appointment you have to be at. Give that few extra minutes to somebody that just wants to reach out and talk to somebody. It will do wonders for your soul. All right. Chapter 16, The Formidables. As the 20 heavy-laden pottery wagons creak slowly down the snow-covered path, a myriad of unseen guardian angels surround them. Master Potter watches his precious entourage turn into the narrow trail leading to the Formidable mountain range. The snow flurries and northern winds have died down, and the late morning sun creates sparkling ice crystals, carpeting the newly fallen snow. The vessels speak softly amongst themselves so they don't alarm everyone in the wagon. They all look to Beloved for encouragement and leadership. Sweet Adoration speaks up timidly. Beloved, did he really say thieves will try to capture us? What will we do? How will we protect ourselves? Harvester brags, like I told you guys before, Master Potter made me for dangerous exploits. Don't worry, I'll protect you, he says, patting one of the smaller vessels on its head. Beloved confidently tells her mugs, Holy Spirit took me back in time last night to the fireside room where we first saw our beautiful wedding gowns. He reminded me of his invitation for us to become warrior brides. We're on a difficult prophetic journey and need to stay focused on him. That's key there. We need to stay focused on the Lord and where he's leading us, and put on our spiritual armor and be as brave as we can be. Sweet Adoration agrees. I'll admit I'm nervous without Master Potter. Are you nervous without the Master Potter? Do you have days where you feel he's moved from you? Or maybe is it you've moved a little bit from him? Let's worship and pray. We'll all feel better, adds Golden Incense. Another key point. Let's worship and pray. Joyful tells her, don't be afraid. He sent Watchman along as our special guide. Let's not forget that we've got to keep our armor on. By the way, Comrade blushes, has anyone seen my sword? Long-suffering chides, I would have thought from the stories you've told about your battle in the fireside room that your sword would be far too large for you to misplace. Comrade looks chagrined, and the rest of the vessels all laugh. Harvester punches him on the shoulder. Maybe Master Potter put it on the wagon all by itself. Maybe it's so big that even Master Potter couldn't load it on the wagon, laughs Fearless. It's probably still back at the house. You can ask Beloved, she'll tell you. Comrade's guardian angel, Courageous, chuckles to himself and touches Comrade on the shoulder. Oh, forget it, Comrade says as he drops his defensiveness and laughs heartily with his friends. But did it really grow? Worship and intercession. Beloved's throaty, nightingale-like voice fills the atmosphere with soft worship, activating faith in the hearts of all the vessels. Have you ever listened to a song and it just activates that faith in your heart all the deeper? Sometimes if you're feeling down, worried, concerned, you need to meditate. Pick out some of your favorite songs, make a playlist and start playing them, and relax. Take 15 minutes and just listen to 3 or 4 songs. You will be amazed what that will do for your spirit. She raises her hands and is soon lost in adoration. Worship and intercession spread throughout the wagon, igniting hearts as the vessels all sing and pray in the Spirit. Watching from a distance, Master Potter smiles approvingly as the perfumed incense of their prayers rise through the old weathered tarps. Gusts of glory swirl around them and intermingle with glittering snow crystals, creating a sparkling cloud. Off to Precarious Pass. After several hours, the wagons stop. An elder and watchman check on the vessels. The little group hears the concern in Elder's voice as he tells Watchman, the weather's closing in. We need to get to Precarious Pass before dark. The wagon rocks side to side as the two men climb aboard. Horses strain against their harnesses, neighing and pawing the ground. Suddenly, the snap of reins signal the eager steeds. The wagons move slowly up the mountainous trail to an intersection where an old sign indicates 3 different trails. One sign points down the mountain to Comfort Cove. The next sign points in the opposite direction to the treacherous mountains ahead and reads Precarious Pass. Beloved peeks out from under the tarp and shudders as she reads the last weather sign pointing to deeper life commune. Flashbacks of death sweep over her. Pushing back fear, she draws a blanket tightly around her shoulders and shudders. Her arms long to hold her daughter so intensely that they ache, as does her heart. Sadly, she stares at the snow-covered trail and hums the old hymn, It Is Well With My Soul. Chapter 17, Spiritual Warfare. The winter sun drops behind the mountains like a clouded orange ball as the wagons move slowly up the increasingly steep and narrow trail. Thick snow blankets the passage with heavy drifts from the previous day's storm. The horses' muscles ripple and strain against their harnesses as they pull their heavy loads. Wet snow and ice coats the branches of the dense forest at either side of the trail. Elder orders the drivers to light the brass oil lanterns attached to tall wooden posts on the lead wagon. Shivering in the icy wind that blows through the tarps, the fragile vessels huddle together uncomfortably on the wooden shelves. Hunger and cold. Long-suffering blurts out, "Well, if you ask me, this makes the desert look like a day in the park. At least it wasn't cold there." Others join in and start to grumble bitterly. It sounds a little bit like the children in the wilderness when they started complaining. "I'm starving. When are we going to stop to rest?" Harvester yells, "You guys are sure thick-skinned. Stop the belly aching." You guys are sure thin-skinned. Stop the belly aching. It only makes it worse." Disgusted, Steadfast agrees and tries to quiet the ranks. "We've just started this journey, so why all the complaining?" "Right," whines Long-Suffering. "I'm freezing, but I guess we'll get a fire soon enough." Comrade moves closer to sweet adoration, telling her, "Stay close to me, and I'll keep you warm. Would you like to wear my coat and scarf?" Beloved looks on approvingly. "Comrade, you're a good friend. Thanks for looking out for all of us." Base Camp. Hours later, the trail widens as they approach base camp at a high mountain meadow. Strategically located at the foot of Precarious Pass, it's the last place for the horses to rest before launching their hazardous trek in the morning. The full moon peeks out from behind gathering clouds. Its reflection casts liquid light on the clear mountain stream running through the meadow and into the sea below. Elder pulls his cold, weary team into camp beside the half-frozen stream and orders the men to take care of the horses. The vessels rejoice, expecting to be taken inside a warm shelter and fed. The last wagons pull into camp. The drivers wipe down the horses' thick sorrel coats and throw woolen blankets over their backs. Then they water and feed them before bedding them down on a makeshift stable. Finally, they untie the supplies hitched to the wagon in preparation for the crew's evening meal. Cooking fires dot the campfire as Master Potter's crew works together and talks over the day's events. Praying and fasting. The snow flurries fall gently as Watchman explains that the vessels will be staying aboard the wagons for the night, praying and fasting before they continue through the dangerous pass in the morning. Fasting is a spiritual violence against the enemy's kingdom. It moves the heart of God and releases protection. It will strengthen your spirits for the warfare ahead. We need everyone's prayers. A groan of disappointment escapes from the wagons as the smell of the food cooking over the campfire drips through the camp. As if we haven't been miserable enough in these cold wagons. Now they're not going to feed us? I should have known it was coming, complains Long-Suffering. This is what I call a forced fast, grumbles Harvester. You're the expert on fasting, aren't you, chides Comrade. Hey, 5 days out of 40 isn't bad for a beginning effort, Harvester pipes up. If I remember correctly, says Long-Suffering, you were the tavern's best customer for fish and chips during that time. At least I tried, which was more than the rest of you, says Harvester, and the tension is broken as they laugh over this fond memory. After the workers eat, they bring out their guitars and tambourines. The vessels join them in praise and worship. Watchman brings refreshing to the weary travelers as he moves from wagon to wagon, praying for the vessels and giving words of encouragement. Remember, even though you don't like fasting, it tenderizes and awakens your heart to hear his revelation and wisdom. We all must be vigilant. We're a team and a family. Comrade exhorts every vessel to get out their sword, the word of God. Let your hearts be awakened to his love and protection for you. His life is released in his word. After Bible study, Beloved leads them in the familiar revival hymn, The Old Rugged Cross, which activates a glorious pillar of fire in the spirit realm. Some of the vessels have visions of the cross and receive a revelation of how they are loved. Gentle tears of adoration flow down Beloved's cheeks as she is caught up in a spontaneous praise. Other vessels move into prophetic songs and music. The windows of heaven open and gusts of glory sweep through the camp. Valiant, Exhorter, Courageous, and the other guardian angels join in the celebration. All the while, tucked between two blankets in the last wagon, Purity is sound asleep, exhausted from the long, bumpy ride. Satanic battle plans. Glorious worship rises through the second heavens on its way to the throne of God. The holy fragrance of adoration violently assaults the demonic realm, causing dark spirits to swarm together in a malevolent cloud of vengeance, frantic to destroy the source of the hated worship. Its abandoned Renaissance sends waves of torment throughout the demonic realm. High above in the rugged Formidables, the glorious worship awakens a dark dragon that rules over the geographical region. Superimposed over the rugged peaks of the Formidables, his monstrous mouth opens in a carnivorous snarl. His deadly coiled tail wraps around his coveted treasure, the sleepy little village of Comfort Cove. Eyes burning with defiance, he jealously guards his stronghold over it, ravenous to consume the lives of its inhabitants. In this eerie glacial fortress, Satan angrily spews sulfuric vapor into the atmosphere. Beloved's mellow yet spiritually powerful voice wafting through the dragon's lair throws Satan into diabolical rage. I hate that voice. She will be singing for Madame Faust's destiny at the end as she did before she met Master Potter. I must silence her or use her voice to bring thousands to me. He snarls with intense agitation as he paces on his webbed, gnarled feet. I should have won this challenge with the Godhead for her affections long ago. Why am I surrounded by incompetence? He bellows as he kicks a little demon who thuds high on the wall and slides down to the floor unconscious. A horde of other slimy millions scatter in terror. Send a message to Death to round up all the troops and prepare to annihilate the wagon train and bring Forsaken to me. Discernment. Sensing danger, Watchman motions for Elder. They kneel in prayer and see an open vision of the dragon manifested over the formidable mountain range and the demonic army assigned against them. Asking Master Potter for battle strategies, they stir the camp to pray with new vigor. Enormous warring angels with flaming swords appear in the darkness at the borders of the camp. Ancient sentinels set to guard the camp and await orders from the Father. Okay, we're going to stop there. And tomorrow, I should be able to be back on. I'm going to try to come on every day and read at least 2 chapters, no matter how I'm feeling. Sometimes I think that might help get my mind off of it, and it's okay. If I don't look all pretty and makeup on and everything, you understand, I'm sure. But, oh boy, doesn't Satan dig in all the harder the closer we get to God? And he's constantly watching to tear us down through lies, through deceit, appearing as an angel of light. And that's why we must keep on that full armor of God, so that we're prepared and we're always ready to recognize what is really going on and pray and worship and use the scriptures against him. And that is what, will get us through all those times. All right, everyone. Well, you have a blessed day in the Lord. I'm in the process of trying to do laundry today. It seems like every effort I have to sit down and rest after every, pulling the load out, hanging it all up. Okay, got to rest for 20 minutes. But you know what? As long as it gets done, right? As long as it gets done. All right, everyone, you take care. I love all of you. Bye-bye.